Yo, good morning, Raider Nation. I am back with another episode of Good Morning Raiders. We got a lot to talk about. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Here we go. Protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My God, lunatic Raider, Raider Legion. What is good?
We on? Oh, hey!
We on. None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Moore. Bring out none other than the Violator, Wayne Marbury. Bring out none other than the notorious Mitchell.
Yo, what is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Jay Raider back with another episode of Good Morning Raiders, Appreciate everyone in the building, everyone pulling up. Salute to everybody. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys go ahead and check in, hit that subscribe button, click those thumbs for your boy. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone tapping in and rocking with me on this Saturday morning. We have a fire show lined up for you, so make sure you guys do the damn thing. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Um, wow, the search goes on as the title says. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the head coach search that's been going on for 3 weeks now. And will we finally see an end in sight very soon, or does the wait have to continue? We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. But before we do, you already know we need to go ahead and do this thing right. Let me go ahead and acknowledge everybody in the building. Real quick, shout out to my guy Jack Ken in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Salute, salute. Salute to on six in the building. What is good? What is good? Appreciate you, my guy. Raider Paul in the building already with the. Hold on, dog. Got to do this thing right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Let's see here. And shout out to Raider for Life in the building. Salute, salute. Casanova or Walt in the building. Salute, my guy. My guy Predator in the building. What it do, my guy? Appreciate you tapping in. On six already. Appreciate you, my guy. Happy when your anniversary nightmares. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. All right. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and bring out the man of the hour, my guest for today. This is my brother from down under. He was just out here in the States, experiencing Raider Nation, experiencing what we have to offer here. Puts on fire content with my guy on six and a couple other cats as well. But let me go ahead and bring out my guy, none other than Afakasi Raider in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. I know you're a little bit under the weather, man, but again, appreciate you tapping in.
Thanks for having me, dude. I'm sorry, man. I'm not feeling too great. If I'm gonna be honest, the sickness is getting worse, and it gets worse before it gets better. But I'm here. Let's do this. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you all. Raider Love, Jack, on six. Who else is in here? Raider for Life, Predator, Raider Paul,
Yes, sir.
and Walt. So. Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man. I appreciate you. Know you're fighting the sickness, but hey, man. Nonetheless, I appreciate you pulling up and rocking with me on this Saturday morning here in the States.
What's up, Jerry?
But let's go ahead and kick this thing off. The head coach search continues. Again, we're third week of this head coach search, and I don't know. Are we going to see an end in sight soon, or are we going to have to go ahead and wait a little bit longer to find out who's going to be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders? Really quick, let me go ahead and pull up the candidates currently off the board, and as you guys see here,
Excuse me, chap.
You're good. 5 vacancies still remain. The Steelers, Bills, Cardinals, Browns, and us. The notable hires, the Titans hire Robert Saleh, Giants hire John Harbaugh, Dolphins, Jeff Hadley, and then Falcons hire Kevin Stefanski, and then the latest hire, the Ravens hired Jesse Minter for their head coach position, which was a little bit of shocker out for Raider Nation. There were some people that were kind of high on Jesse Minter. Definitely a hot prospect coming up. He was on my list. He wasn't top of my list, but he was pretty up there. What do you think so far about the hires? Um, who's your guy? Um, but what do you think about the hires so far that's been going on across the league? Um,
Honestly, man, like I don't really have a guy per se. Um, I just want them to get their guy, not
mm,
whoever they settle for.
yeah,
Kind of like last season, you know what I mean? And like I like that they're doing their due diligence, but we can't wait too long because a lot of these guys are starting to go real quickly. And I'm sure
mhm,
they're trying to do their best they can in doing their due diligence, but I'm just gonna wait and see, and whoever it is, I'm just gonna rock with it. Give them a chance, just like every other coach that's come through the door. Give them a
right,
chance
yeah,
to see what they do, and hopefully it works out this time, right?
yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about as far as who's the notables still on the table. Um, as you see, we got Mike LaFleur still available. We got Clint Kubiak, another one that is available as well. And probably would be probably one that would be very favorable as well throughout Raider Nation. Um, Davis Webb, another one that's still available. Um, and then we got Joe Brady. Joe Brady's still available as well. He hasn't been officially hired anywhere or any offers, but the consensus is that he might take that job. He might stay in house and take that job in Buffalo. We'll see what happens there. And then as well, Mike McDaniels is also tech. Yeah. Is he really available? I don't know. He just took the offensive coordinator position for the Chargers the other day, earlier this week. But, could he be available to go ahead and possibly come in as a head coach, for it being plan B or C for the Raiders if it doesn't work out? What are your thoughts as far as the candidates that I just mentioned here? Anybody that sticks out, or who do you think would possibly be the next head coach for the Raiders?
I know McDaniel's. What's McDaniel's first name?
Mike McDaniels.
Mike. That's it. So I know he's a different kind of personality, and he has a different coaching style to his brother. I don't know, man. I'm still kind of traumatized by anybody with the last name McDaniel's coming in as our coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. No relation though.
Aren't they brothers?
No, they're not related.
Oh wow! This whole time I thought they were brothers.
No, they're not related.
My bad. Goes to show you my knowledge, right? I know LaFleur has had some success with the Bills. There's been criticism that they haven't really surrounded Josh Allen with enough talent for them to go further than what they had. Yeah, thanks, Jack. Why did I think they were brothers this whole time? As for the other guys, Kubiak, Webb, Brady, like I said to you before, I just want whoever they go for is not someone that they're settling for.
Mhm.
It's not their plan B and plan C, as you were saying. I want them to the guy to be plan A. That's it. That's our guy. Let's do what we have to go and get him and give him all the support that we have in order to be as successful as he can be as our head coach. Because it's been a revolving door the last 3-4 seasons, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm over it. We need some consistency, and we need to start trending in the right direction. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I mean,
salute to
there's
the
both.
new guys in the chat, Snoops and I'm not Bueno, Brett, and Jerry, my guy Jerry.
Appreciate you guys pulling up. Yeah, I mean, there's some other candidates as well. I just kind of mentioned probably the ones that kind of stick out and seem to be kind of favorites to possibly either lead the search or probably be the next guy. You still have like Chris Julio out there. You have Clay Kubiak, brother. That they're actually related. Him and Clint. That's a younger brother of Clint Kubiak, Ejiro Rivero, Mac Natty, Vance Joseph, Nate Shalas, Nate Shieldhouse, excuse me, that are still out there available. But my thing is it's probably gonna be it's either three guys. So it's probably gonna be either Mike LaFleur, Davis Webb, or Clint Kubiak. And I think it's probably going to be Clint Kubiak, to be honest with you. He seems to be kind of leading that search. His name has been dropped consistently throughout this head coach search. He hasn't really gone out and done too many interviews with other teams. So to me, it seems like he's being very selective on as far as who he wants to go ahead and potentially, work at. Uh, One of them being Baltimore, and they went ahead and got their head coach the other day. Michael Four, the up and coming offensive coordinator for the Rams. To me, he's top of my list, but I've heard drawbacks where you don't know who's really calling the plays. It's either him or McVay. But either way, I mean, he's been there for quite a while now. So obviously, just being under the McVay tree and working with him so closely, there's a lot of things that you're going to go ahead and learn, and things are going to rub off. We got Davis Webb, guy who's not really too far up high on my list. My thing with David Webb is that he's a quarterback coach, offensive pass coordinator for the Broncos. Hasn't really had any experience above that as far as offensive coordinators or anything like that is concerned. To really have somebody that raw, but I've heard he's really, really talented. Um, uh, could be another thing. I mean, I've heard rumors that they really liked his interview. He had a really, really good interview with the Raiders. But again, my thing is just that experience factor. He hasn't really called plays too much. He hasn't really been up in the box. He hasn't been really reading that offense. But again, just going with him being a quarterback coach and the way he's helped develop Bo Nix, I think that's something they're probably taking into account. And if the pick is Fernando, that might be a good relationship where he can go ahead and come in and help him develop and whatnot. But you also have Clint Kubiak. He's already had multiple offensive coordinator positions. He's been around the league. He's currently with Seattle. They play this weekend for the NFC Championship. Probably a favorite to go ahead and go to the Super Bowl. You could say part of that success of Sam Darnold is Clint Kubiak. We saw him also with the New Orleans Saints and Carr's early stint there while Kubiak was there. He found some success. He started off really hot up until the point that Carr got hurt. So we'll see what's going to happen. Obviously, if the Seahawks win, if the Rams win, we might have to wait a little bit longer. If the Broncos go ahead and advance to the Super Bowl as well, we might have to wait a little longer. So honestly, I don't really see us potentially getting a head coach until February. I don't know. I don't think everybody is too keen on that. I think everybody wants to go ahead and get that underway and get all the pieces going and get all the staffing going, so that way we can go ahead and prepare for free agency. But I don't know. I think Clint Kubiak is probably the one that you can say is currently in the lead. But we'll see. Obviously, see what happens with that. Everybody in the chat, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys want for your next head coach? Go ahead and drop that down in the chat. But let's go ahead and kind of go on to the next thing. And obviously, Fernando Mania, we can't go without mentioning Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mania gets even hotter. And this dropped the other day. Fernando officially declaring for the draft. Um, this it's official. He's coming out. What do you got? What do you think? What are your thoughts on Fernando? I've heard it on other shows.
Before I
I
go
wanted to go
ahead,
ahead.
man, can I get one of your mods to take care of that mod reviews guy in the chat? He's pissing me off. You can go eat a dick. How about that?
Oh no, let me.
Sorry, man. Continue.
Yeah, if you guys have if there's any mods, go ahead and handle that.
He's on your vertical stream.
All right, I see. Yeah,
Someone take care of that fool.
I got.
You complaining about us talking about football, yet you're watching us. So how about that? Eat a dick. Sorry, Jay. Continue.
No, you're good. So, what are your thoughts about Fernando? Do you really think the Raiders should go for him? I wanted to go ahead and get your thoughts, but you know, we finally we know he's coming out. I know there's something that got kind of put out there the other day, and it was ended up being fake news. Mark Cuban wanted to go ahead and make an offer to keep him at IU for another year, but obviously that was fake. But what are your thoughts on Fernando? What are your thoughts about the number one pick? What direction do you think that we should go with Fernando or with the number one pick?
Man, I am so pro taking Fernando Mendoza. I mean, you probably see me on other lives, have the same rant, have the same feelings that I've been standing 10 toes down on since, I don't know, like the off season. Is that I'm tired of trying to go the veteran route when it comes to addressing the quarterback position, the most important position in football. We have the number one draft pick, and granted, we have a lot of holes in our roster, but we can't afford to get cute anymore when it comes to the draft. I mean, here's the consensus top pick in the draft. It's a position of need. The guy, to me, I'm not a technical X's and O's kind of guy, but I know what my eyes see when I watch him play. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's a closer. He's a finisher. He's a winner. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want at the QB position. And for me, it's simple. We have to take it. We have to take the chance. I'm tired of waiting. I'm not waiting anymore. I don't want to do no trades. I don't want to take no other positions. Just take the shot. If it works out, we won't be picking even close to the number one spot for at least another decade. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't work out, if he's not what everybody thinks that he fears that he possibly will be or won't be, just gonna help my dog. He's a bit old these days. Sorry about that.
Okay.
If he doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least we tried. That's all I've been saying this whole time. Like, I want to try something we haven't tried the last decade now. Every other team seems to find their quarterback in the first round. So why can't we? And you're never gonna make the shots you don't take. So I'm so pro Mendoza. Let's just get our guy and get behind him. And I believe he will be a lot of the reason why we return to prominence per se. So,
yeah, for sure. I am definitely in agreement, and I'm really going to go ahead and go into as far as you know why we should get it. Obviously, I've been following Fernando since that first Oregon game. So early on in the season, I think that's really when he started turning people's heads, and we're like, "Who the fuck
which
is
game
this
was that?
kid?"
Sorry,
Right? The Oregon Duck game, the first one in the season. That was
okay,
like
right.
October. Yeah, that was like late October. And at that time, Oregon was on a roll. They seemed to be in the direction of heading number one. And obviously IU had a really good season the prior year. I think they went 10-1, and they just fell short during the playoffs, right? They had Curtis Rourke as their quarterback the year prior. Fernando was still in Cal, and but they were already starting to turn heads. They went out and got this kid. Still, it's when you talk about the University of Indiana here in the States, it doesn't turn a lot of heads. You're like, okay, what about them? powerhouses like Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Miami, the U. Those teams, those schools are the powerhouses. Those are the ones that catch your eye, and they're the ones that are out recruiting. The next big thing, right? So when you had guys like Fernando Mendoza went out and literally, put a whooping on Oregon, that turned heads, right? And that's really when that Fernando train started rolling, and that's kind of where I started to go ahead and kind of keep tabs on him. But
Right.
now that we got the number one pick, because we're I remember during the season we were just like, let's try to get the number one. A lot of the fan base was trying to, hope to get the number one pick. And it's funny that now that we got the number one pick, we're talking about possibly trading out. And I get it. I get it.
Right?
The draft picks feel appealing, but there's a big need that we've been needing for a long, long time. But with that being said, obviously some of the doubts are starting to creep in, and I've heard one of the ones I've heard is, does Fernando even want to be here, right? And now that he won the Natty, he's doing the television stint, and really he's been asked, right? Because I mean that's the elephant in the room. What are you gonna do to the number one pick and the consensus number one pick? The Raiders have the number one pick. What do you think about being drafted by the Raiders? And this is kind of what Fernando had to say in regards to that when he was asked about possibly being drafted by the Raiders.
You're going to be the number one pick in the draft, most likely.
We'll see.
Oh, you will. You will. Have you given thought to where you want to play?
I'd be blessed to play anywhere. And the number one pick is a great blessing, but any pick is a fantastic blessing. You only need one team to believe in you. And so whatever team believes on me, I'm going to give them my most.
Well, I got a friend named Carson Daly, who's a huge Las Vegas Raiders fan.
How you doing? Good to
How
see
you doing? Good to see you.
Listen, on behalf of Las Vegas, I just want to say, should you end up with us, I'm sorry.
No!
But listen, if you can win more than 3 games, you're a hero. And you've got Genty, you've got Bowers. We're going to get an O-line for you. Should that be the place you land, we're going to take care of you.
Yeah, the Raiders have a great culture, great coaching staff, great ownership group. It's all around.
Yeah.
They get. I mean, those are legit guys. So I'd be happy to end up anywhere.
Good answer.
Listen, I wore my black and gray.
I love it.
Congratulations on a great year.
So there you have it. Fernando is just happy to go ahead and get drafted in it. And if it happened to be the Raiders, he's 100% on board. And that goes to show like the type of character that this guy is. And that's something that probably some people overlook as well, right? Because me and you, we've talked about it.
Character.
Like character, right? Like having issues come over to Vegas and having to deal with drama queens and eccentrics and all this stuff. Now we have like a really good potential, guy that most likely is going to be here, who's about ball, who's focused, who's goal driven,
Has a great upbringing, has a great foundation. Is all about football. He's a good kid. Hopefully he can, if we take him, he's going to grow into a great man and a great Raider. I'm all aboard. Just try. I mean, the way I see it is, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. It's more of the same. But I try to focus on the positives. If we get it right, addressing the most important position in football, quarterback, something we haven't been able to do for a long time outside of Derek Carr, but in the first round specifically, like the sky is the limit to where this team could go. And I get people want to try and address other holes in that and make trades and stuff, but at the same time, when we make these draft pick trades, we end up with players like Cleve Farrell, Jonathan Abram, DJ Hayden, Menelik Watson, Tyree Wilson, and I'm friggin' sick of it. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather take a shot at the quarterback than take a shot at those kind of players and picks and whiff on those. And then we're looking at this guy go to another franchise and turn out to be the guy that we should have taken in the first place. Like, most experts and most people, he is the consensus guy. So let's just do the smart pick. The road is clear for me. Just take the shot. If it doesn't work out, so what? We tried.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. Real quick, shout out to Ja with the breaking news. Let me go ahead and kind of tap in, and I know it doesn't really do a whole lot of relevance here, but Steelers actually um hiring Mike McCarthy um as their head coach over in Pittsburgh. Um, although this was one of the guys that I felt that the Raiders should at least interview to go ahead and pick their brain, and obviously, you know, think about potentially being a candidate. But Mike McCarthy off the board, and how this is important to us. You know, we saw those guys that I mentioned earlier. This are on the board, right? Um, could could any of those guys potentially go over to Pittsburgh? Yes, but now we know that at least Pittsburgh has filled up their position with Mike McCarthy. So they're they're doing their thing out in Pittsburgh, and looks like Mike McCarthy is back in the league, and he found a new home in Pittsburgh. Um, I did want to go ahead and also put this because again, there's questions now. So you're gonna have all these questions, you're gonna have all these doubts, right? You're gonna have and sometimes the questions are good to ask. You know, not all. You know, we should not ask these questions. Like, you know, should we really go after Fernando Mendoza, right? What are the drawbacks? Um, but one of the questions, obviously, do the Raiders even feel? How do they feel about Fernando Mendoza, right? And this was also shared the other day by Tom Brady, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up. He did an interview the other day, and we'll go ahead and kind of get to see how he feels. And and I know it's Tom Brady, but he was mentioned right before the offseason that he will head, or right after the offseason, I should say, he's going to go ahead and head football operations along with John Spytek, especially for the search for the next head coach. Obviously, he could probably be really involved with the number one draft pick as well. So, this is what Tom had to say in regards to Fernando Mendoza.
It was also a great
Shout out to
experience.
Brady
Obviously,
Resistance.
I live in Miami, so it was a 30-minute drive to the game, and the fact that they were playing in the game and all it worked out. My son wanted to go to the game. I brought him. We sat up there in the suite and got to be on the field in the pregame and just observe. And I haven't been to a college football game in so long. Never been to a national championship game, but just to see kind of the environment, the atmosphere. You know, did it feel too big for anybody? And he's played tremendous, all season, 16-0, leading his team. And again, he's another guy that, when you hear him speak, I always kind of judge quarterbacks. I go, how would I have answered that? And he's just a very mature young man, and he's got a bright future. And, everybody coming into the league, there's still so much room for development. Nobody's a finished product. I don't care whether you're won the Heisman or you're the 199th pick in the draft. It's what do you do when you get there? How important is this to you? Are you obsessed with your job? Are you obsessed with being the best you? Yeah, it was can be. These young men, whether it's Fernando or a lot of other players that were on the field the other night, they have a great opportunity to do something in their life, to enhance their family's life, to go impact a community in a positive way by playing great football and bringing joy to the fan base. And that's a job you take very seriously. So all these young prospects, I hope they go to environments that embrace them completely, that can help them develop into the best player they can be. That's how I was, kind of grew up into the league. I found a great environment. It was all about football. It was about, like you mentioned earlier, about how can you be the best teammate? How can you work hard? How can you play smart? How can you play tough? How can you play well under pressure? How well can you play in tough conditions? And then ultimately, how well can you play in championship games? And all those things remain to be seen. Can be these young men, whether it's Fernando or
So that was Brady for you. And to me, it sounded like, tell me how you really feel without telling me how you really feel type shit, And I think everything that he said, and especially if we kind of start reading in between the line, that's a lot of it's Fernando, right? A guy who's appealing to the community, a guy who's hungry, who's driven. He spokenly said that, hey, I'm laser focused. I want to be in the NFL. I want to be a quarterback in the NFL. And the kid has worked hard, and he's done everything that is taken to go ahead and be the top prospect to make that happen. Right now, he's the number one consensus. Um, what are your thoughts about what you just saw? What do you think? Do you think Brady is sold on Mendoza? Because that's probably the other question: are the Raiders really sold on Fernando Mendoza? And when I say the Raiders, right now it's the front office, which Tom Brady is part of that front office. Do you think they are sold on Fernando Mendoza?
Well, look how much effort and emphasis they put on when they went to the championship game. I mean, you've seen the photos, you've seen the footage of Mark Davis specifically standing on the sideline right in front of Fernando Mendoza before kickoff. Um, to me, it says everything you need to know. So let's just go and get our guy. For Christ's sakes.
Let's go get our
I'm-
guy for
I'm
sure.
so on
for
board
sure.
with it. Just get our guy, or at least try.
Yeah,
I don't want
and
to take
this
no
is-
other route. I don't want to do anything else. Like I said, we're not in a position to get cute with the draft and do anything other than just
Yeah, and this is my. I mean, to me, honestly, I feel like I said,
Bo Kelly.
tell me how you feel without telling me how you really feel. And Brady said a lot of things that kind of really led to him really liking Fernando Mendoza. You know, um, whether however you feel about it, it's good that he's doing this. They're good that they're out there publicly showing a real interest in him for so many things, right? But whatever side. So my thing is that I've been saying is that I think at this point you need to try to find a reason why you shouldn't draft Fernando Mendoza. I think we got into that point. That's a real honest question that they should be asking themselves. Everybody should be asking. So, well, what is so bad that we should not take Fernando Mendoza? And don't give me like he's had one bad game. Don't tell me that he didn't do this on this game. He didn't execute this pass. Yada yada yada. On paper he looks great. On the field he looks great. You see if you really started looking at footage from the Cow days, you see that progression. I mean, he almost beat Miami last year with a less talented team in Cal. Literally lost by 1 point. And I mean that goes to show a big prospect. So and he was putting on a show that day too. But if you start looking all that, you start looking at the work ethic, you start looking at the personality, the character, all that combined, that's somebody that you want in your quarterback. The guy went out.
Right.
He didn't have the best game. He didn't put up killer stats. He didn't light up the field. He wasn't dropping bombs. He did what he had to do. He made the second half adjustment. He went out there and made the big throws when it counted. He made the big move when it counted to go ahead and be able to give his team the shot to winning the game. And that was a tough game. That was a defensive game all around. And he went out there and did what it takes. And if you guys, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the post game interview that he did. Obviously, the guy's like, I'll do whatever it takes. I have to put my body on line. If I have to die for my team, so be it. That's the guy that you want on your team. This is a guy that we should be, like, hey, you don't even have to read the card. You already know what time it is. That's somebody
If I
that
can
you want to go ahead and have in your team.
get in there for a second. Like, when is the last time that we've had a quarterback who's willed his way to making a play or a score the way he did on that play in the championship game? When? Not since what? Derek Carr's best days? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine when the game's on the line and we get a play like that out of our quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That would just make me feel so happy and fill me with so much belief that we can do some things. And I'm tired of having the opposite when it comes to the quarterback position. just so done with it. He's a good kid on and off the field. He has a great foundation. He's smart. He's a great character. He's a leader. What my eyes see when I see him on the field, like he's got an arm, he can throw, he can even scramble when he needs to. So that's what I want. That's my guy. And I'm not going to deviate from that and until the wheels fall off.
Right, for sure. And I like to go ahead and address the points, the counters that are out there on why we some of them, because there's a bunch. But my thing is this: realistically, I don't think we can even fill all the positions that are in need this year. I think it's going to take us 2 years to really fill out all these positions with actual really good talent. I know we're going to have over 100 mil, probably be around 120, 130, around there, 130 million in cap space. But again, I think this is the time where, for one, like Carson Daly said, we're going to build your no line. You have to go ahead and get a no line, right? I think that's something you get both in free agency and the draft, right? You get if you get a couple of guys, because we don't need a whole brand new line. Like JPG is good. We know where he's at. We have a real prospect in Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. And this is why Raider Nation was pushing for those guys to really have some reps, have some burn, so we can see what we have there, because we can now more fairly assess how bad this offensive line is. If everybody sucks, and even the guys that we drafted suck, then we need to go out and really spend a lot on this offensive line. There's a lot of pieces that are going to be needed, but we have a really good prospect in Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant, that these guys are going to continue improving. If we're able to go ahead and really get a really good offensive line coach, which I really hope that we do, right? And if I think that
someone who's not so terrible, for Christ's sakes.
And if I think we're going to hire the guy we're going to hire, I think we're in a good place, right? I don't have any idea who their candidate would be, but to come in, but obviously it'll be somebody that will be close to him. And if that's so, we're going to see a lot of these guys continue to progress, right? Questions obviously on DJ Glaze. I feel with DJ Glaze, a lot of it was coaching. And we saw that, and we heard all the shit that came out afterwards, is that these guys had to meet after hours to figure out blocking schemes and what fits right for Genty, what fits right for Geno Smith, yada yada.
Tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know.
Exactly. So, but there's still a good amount of talent. We know where Colton Miller's at. He's solid. Once he comes back healthy, we're going to be good there. It just adding a couple pieces, center, maybe another guard, tackle. You can go out and get a tackle, and also put some of these guys in depth pieces, or continue to go ahead and start them and have some support behind them. It's all about building this offensive line, right? Having a good coach in as well is going to go ahead and help with that. We're also going to need a wide receiver one, right? We'll see how this free agency pans out. There's a couple of names out there, George Pickens. There's a couple other names aside from him that they're going to be out in the market, right? I don't know if George Pickens is going to necessarily move off from the Cowboys. They might go ahead and decide to keep him. We all saw what he did to us on that Monday night game. So, but he's going to be a hot prospect either way. We either get one in free agency or we draft one. But the consensus is this is your starting point. My point is that Fernando should be that starting point and start building from there. Because it doesn't matter whether it's Fernando or a guy 2 years from now. We're still going to have to build around that guy. It's right. The principle still holds the same, and you're not going to fill in all the positions. Even on the defensive side of the ball, we're not going to fill in everything. There's only so much money. There's only so many draft picks that you're going to be able to go ahead and get, unless you go out and get 20 draft picks. Man, that's the only way you're probably going to fill them, right? But
on the flip side of that, Jay, like, we have a lot of money to spend. and we have 10 draft picks as it stands. So we've got plenty of room and plenty of capital to really make a difference. Like, I'm with you. Make the offensive line a priority. Although I do agree with you that there is pieces that we already have that I honestly feel like on paper our offensive line, it was inexcusable how bad they were last year, and I'm going to put most of that on coaching. But if we can bring one or two veterans, throw the bag, whatever it takes to get them in the door, good ones, I think our offensive line can be a different story this season. But yeah, look, with wide receiver, I don't know too much about like the guys that might be available, and it changes a lot by the time free agency comes around. A lot of these players re-sign to their respective teams, so I'm just gonna wait and see how that all shakes out. But my thing is that like whatever we do in free agency, I still believe that it's not going to make a difference for where I think we should go, at least with the first round. With all with the rest of the picks, like we've got 9 other picks. Like some people's arguments, like, oh, if we draft Mendoza, like we still have to build around him. Well, that's what 9 other picks are for, right? Like it's not like he's the only guy we're taking in the draft. We if we get it right with 2 or 3 of those other picks, much like we did back in 2014 or even 2019. Yeah, granted we whiffed on most of those first rounders, but we found a lot of other guys that were cornerstones for this team. Then we can really shake things up. But it's nothing and nobody's going to change my mind from taking and addressing the quarterback position and taking Mendoza number 1.
Yeah. And Jack put this comment up, throwback at Linderbaum. Tyler Linderbaum, which is currently the center for Baltimore. Baltimore didn't exercise their 5th-year option on him, so he's most likely going to go ahead and hit free agency. If we go on Spot Track, he's already there. The whole thing is that the Ravens might possibly come up with a deal to go ahead and keep him in Baltimore. I think they're trying to figure that part out, but I think that Baltimore's probably going to let him go ahead and test out free agency. If that happens, that is definitely a solid guy that we need to go ahead and go after, and that's going to almost immediately bolster up that.
Whatever these other teams offer him, give him another 5%. I don't care. Make it enticing for these guys to want to come in. We have the money, spend it.
Exactly, and this is the thing. Like you have teams like Philly on their Super Bowl run. They spent like an enormous amount on their offensive line, and you saw that pay out dividends, right? Teams that invest in their offensive line, they're going to go ahead, if not in that first year, in that second year, they're going to go ahead and be significantly better. We hardly spent anything on that offensive line last season, and look at what happened, right? Almost the worst offensive line out in the league. I think, except for pass blocking, we're pretty fucking bad. I mean, they were running over.
We're not that bad with a lot of our talent. Like it shouldn't have been. It was inexcusable that we were that bad. And there is that counter argument, as you were talking about like our offensive line, like it's going to get our quarterback destroyed. We haven't got enough pieces around for our quarterback, whoever we bring in through the draft, to succeed. But at the same time, like, let me take you back to 2014 when we drafted Derek Carr. I mean, he started year 1. I mean, he played reasonably well enough to show promise that he could be the guy for the future, and he was for a bit. But he didn't have the car insurance year 1. That came year 2. So if we don't address it as well as what we should, and things don't progress as well as what we'd hope it to be with the new coach, and hopefully, or if they don't progress, the second, third year guys that we still have on our roster, or the other guys like Colton Miller, like I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. It's not all doom and gloom. Like there's going to be time to address these. It may not. I'm not expecting, playoff Super Bowl or like everything all at once from right from the rip. No, I'm willing to give it time to marinate and turn out the way we hope it will in time, and I'm willing to give that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
a
and
bit
this
of
is the thing.
perspective.
Well, this is the thing too, and I always try to remind everybody and kind of and really put that in, and people said that even if we draft Mendoza this year, we're still not going to be good. We're going to be better than what we were. We're going to, we're not going to be 3-14
Right.
anymore, but we're still going to win. Probably going to win 3, maybe 4 more games, right? So that puts us kind of 7-10, and you want to see kind of that progression. We're not going to be playoff contender, but we're going to be better than what we were. Like I said, not all these positions
Right.
are going to be filled up in the first year. It's going to take us really to that year 2, year 3, and so in 2028 is that's really when we're going to start seeing like us like really like playing for a playoff contention, really competing in that high level. And that's where we kind of want to be at, right? It's that slope where it's a trajectory, it's a sliding slope, it's not a skyrocket upward. Because usually when you go upward, that crash is even harder because you're getting a lot of the 1-year signings, a lot of these guys you're on projects that are hoping to go ahead and pan out, and they might not pan out. So you have a lot of that going
But
on. But
hey, if we hit it
you
out of the
do
ballpark with the number one pick, then sky is the limit. You know what I mean?
exactly.
There's
That's
no
where exactly that's where you started off,
like
Um,
let me put it like this. If we hit it out of the ballpark with addressing, say we took a Bane, who I'm very high on, and he turns out to be the baller that he should be at the next level. How far do you think we're going to go the next season or two with drafting him? Whereas if we draft Mendoza and he turns out to be what we hope he can be right from the rip, then the trajectory of where this team can go sooner rather than later is going to be a lot steeper.
right, exactly. And the cool thing is that we have some weapons. We have Brock Bowers, the best tight end in the game. We have Aston Genty, number 6 overall pick, right? Last year, who was regarded as probably the best prospect running back coming out of college last year, right? So, um, we and mind you, he had already accolades having this type of offensive line, a really bad offensive line, and he was able to go ahead and hit over 1,000 scrimmage yards, right? He was able to go ahead and do that. That shows that there's really good potential. Excuse me, really good potential there. So having all that, and if you're able to go ahead and build a really good offensive line, and with a really good strong quarterback, you know, yeah, the potential is really, really there, right? It just you're a weapon away from getting you to that next level, right? So if that's having going out and getting a true wide receiver one, um, hey, that might be the thing that puts us over, right? So, but it always starts from that point. You got to address your biggest need, and that's a quarterback. But this is the thing, not because the quarterback class is just thin, because it is really thin, but he is the best prospect. He's probably the best quarterback ready now. And when is the next time we're going to be in this position where we're going
Right.
to be able to
We're
have the
talking
number one
about like,
pick?
oh, let's just go for it next season. If you got that mentality, you're banking on us to be terrible again. I don't want to go through another season like we did last season. I hated
Yeah,
it. We all did.
yeah. And
You know
I
what I mean?
want to
I'm
remind
tired of
people
waiting.
this.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. And I want to remind people this. And even if we try to go ahead and get the number one, number two pick, anywhere a top three pick, you're gonna have to give away a lot of draft capital. And also, too, those teams are gonna have to want to go ahead and be able to want to give you that draft pick. There's teams out there
Right.
that just don't
We're
like
having
us.
to.
They
We're
won't
going
just
through all
work
these
with us.
hypotheticals and variables to if we're going to wait another season or two seasons of all these things that we're going to need to do in order to get our guy. We have the number one pick in the draft. We have the pick of the litter. For Christ's sakes, just take the shot and get our guy. I'm done with waiting. I'm not waiting anymore.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
just on the
Uh,
wide receiver position, go ahead if you want to read that comment
Oh,
first.
okay. Shout out to Jack. Happy birthday to his wife Joyce. Salute to her. Happy birthday. I hope you guys having a great day. I just saw that. So better do something nice for her, Jack. Make it memorable, buddy. Uh, Go ahead.
Yeah, salute to Jack. You're talking about wide receiver, and I do agree. We do need to find a bona fide number one, or if we don't, or if we can't, we really need more progression out of the guys we drafted last season, because I was very underwhelmed by both of them. I mean, Jack Best shows some promise at times, but like the pressure's on for them to be more than what they were last season. I get it, rookies, but with the state of affairs with our roster, if we don't address that position enough in free agency, and I don't believe in the draft unless we get lucky with round 2, 3, 4, if we go in that direction, that we're going to find that guy who can be that right from the rip. So we really need one, if not two, both of those guys, but at least one of those guys to take a big step, because there's not really much at the wide receiver position as it stands. I mean, I like Trey Tucker as a spot guy, but as a number one or even as a number two, I mean, when he gets separation and he catches the ball, he's great, but like in the contest and when it comes to getting separation, even though he's got that speed, sometimes he struggles. And I don't know, like I like him as that spot guy, not as that reliable guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think with Jack Bash, a lot of that was again the coaching, right? He wasn't getting a lot of targets, but the game that he did get targets, he was successful. I think he was like 6 for 6 in one game, and I already know I'm gonna hear that he played against second and third string, but either way, okay, you still got to catch the fucking ball, nonetheless. The ball's gonna be thrown to you, you still got to catch it. Unless you're super wide open.
I guess the
And we've
quarterback
seen
play and bad coaching would contribute to that. But if those two can be better, I'm looking at those two specifically to produce more, because we're really going to need it with the state of affairs this roster is in until after free agency and the draft. But just to address that comment by Troy Gill, can you see that one?
Yeah. Hold on a second. There you go.
Yeah.
Troy says, I agree with you guys. We should trade Max now for more picks. Would you trade Mayer for more picks? Well, for one, for me, I don't want to trade Max. And I don't feel we should trade Max. For one, he wants to be a Raider. And a lot of the nation wants him to be a Raider. I think he's on the cusp of finally seeing all that dedication, all that loyalty finally come to fruition. But two, I think there's a misperception of how much picks we would get for Max. Remember, he's starting to age. He's already had some injuries. He's already had surgeries, right? I don't think we're going to get as much as people think we're going to get. And two, if I want to remind people, we got a call midway through the season, right before the deadline, from the Cowboys inquiring about Max. Raiders said no. To me, that I don't think that happens. Could they be more open to it? I think they could be more open to it. Obviously, if you have the right scenario where you're getting like three number ones and like a second round pick, then that could probably happen. But I don't think we get at this point probably two number ones. We might get a number one and a number two. It might be that type of scenario. So, me with trading Max, no. Michael Mayer, that could be something that could be on the table again. That's up to. I will leave that up to Spytech and that new head coach, depending.
What's he worth though?
12 personnel.
What's Mayer worth?
Fourth, top fourth best.
Fourth, you're dreaming to get. I mean, I'd be. I'd take the shot if someone was offering a fourth, but you'd be lucky to get a fifth or a sixth. I mean, this is a guy who's in the final year of his rookie deal, and while I like a lot of what he does when he does get the ball and his athleticism in that, 700 yards and 3 touchdowns in 3 seasons, that's not exactly, in my personal opinion, even close to what you'd expect from a second round drafted tight end, a guy we traded up for in that year's draft. By the end of year 3, I mean, who's going to offer more than a fifth or a sixth for those kind of numbers when he's on the last year of his rookie contract?
Yeah, and I'm spitballing the evaluation, but usually the evaluation is not as much as what you would think. So if you're thinking like third, it's probably going to be more like a fourth. And for Jacoby, I think we got a fourth for Jacoby, and everybody's thinking like, oh, we can try to get a third for him, and see it ended up being a fourth round pick, which is
So we
not
got a
that
fourth for
bad.
Jacoby's with Jacoby and his production.
His
You see what I'm
production was
saying?
way more.
Like,
Yeah,
we'll be lucky to get a fifth or a sixth for Michael Mayer on the final year of his rookie deal after producing 700 yards and 3 touchdowns in 3 seasons.
yeah. That's
Not gonna happen.
like if your people are hoping to get something for like Michael Merritt, it has to be paired with somebody else. That's what will be something more realistic. Where, okay, if you trade Max and Michael Mayer, then that's something where you can get maybe like 3 firsts or something around that ballpark. It makes it more realistic, you know. So that's one thing that people forget is that you got to think about one, it's not the same Max, it's an aging Max. Two, he's had some injuries, he's had some surgeries. Yes, he still looks good, he's still out there being productive, but the 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 amount of you think if you're thinking you can get 3 first round picks, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be we're lucky if we get one and maybe a second. I think that'll be really the realistic thing that we would get for Max. And it depends. It's probably going to go to a team like a Cowboys or like Green Bay or like Detroit, somewhere around that, right? And that's going to be a lower number one. So we're talking about somewhere in the 20s for that first round pick, right? And then for your second round, we're talking about somewhere in the 60s. So I think it goes up to late 50s, 60s, somewhere around there for that second round pick. So you're talking about the lower half. It's not as high as people think, you know. And you still, again, you don't know you don't know if that draft pick is going to pan out as well. Everything's a guess here. We don't even know if Fernando's really going to pan out. But looking at the film, looking at everything, we can make that educated guess that it's probably going to work out if you get an offensive line, if you get the right coaching, if you're able to go ahead and really nurture that development. We're going to go ahead and see him really succeed, because we've seen also know the teams the opposite, where they're not catered, they're not nurtured, they don't have a system built around them. And we've seen guys like Johnny Manziel. That almost happened to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had to go ahead and go through 2 teams to get to Tampa to finally see success. But you saw flashes with Baker in Cleveland when they first got him, and it didn't take until Tampa to really like take out his full potential. So you got to do it right, you got to do it smart. So this head coach hire is super important. And my thing is this: the brass is going to go with somebody that either they're sold on Mendoza, who has the same way of thinking, or if they're not sold on Mendoza, they're gonna go in line with someone with that same mindset. Either way, like I said, the vision has to be aligned, and they're gonna pick the next head coach on either of those 2 platforms. Either they're with Mendoza or they're not. And I feel like they're most likely with Mendoza, and I feel it's probably going to be an offensive-minded coach, and that's really what we've been interviewing a lot. A lot of these guys have been offensive-minded coaches, so we'll see what happens. But either way, if you have the number one, you gotta rip the Band-Aid off. You gotta go ahead and do it.
Gotta take the
No
shot.
more of this.
Just take the shot.
You gotta take a shot.
Yeah. No more getting cute. We're not in a position to get cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, just try. Take the shot. Get our guy.
Yes.
And just addressing Angel's comments, there's a lot there that I agree with. Like, I mean, I agree. This could be the most important head coaching hire in Raider history, and could dictate what trajectory our team will start to go. Are we going to remain in the basement, or are we going to finally start to getting back to relevance again? But yeah, like you were asking me before about the coach and who I want, and I'm sorry I couldn't give you more insight into that when it comes to the specific candidates. But I guess that also goes to the show. Like I care, but I don't. Like just whoever is their guy, just go out and get him and just do better. Just start leading us in the right direction. I'm tired of this staying in the basement and just going nowhere year in, year out. I'm done with it. I'm sick of having no vision. I'm sick of there not being no real hope for us fans that have gone through the mud for years, decades now, and we're tired of waiting. You know, just give us some hope that we can be better in time.
Right, right. And to Raider Paul's comment, you know, it's my thing is I keep telling you that I feel it's gonna be Kubi. I guess I know we have to wait until their playoff run is over. So whether it be over Sunday or whether it's over in 2 weeks, then we have to wait like 3 days after that because there's a cooling off period to make any type of move. If it's Kubiak, if they win the Super Bowl or if they don't win the Super Bowl, we still have to wait that same amount of time, right? But just being on just kind of on the consensus and what's being broadcasted out there, and mind you, there's candidates out there that we can go ahead and make a selection now to go ahead and cinch up that position, but we haven't made those moves yet. So that goes to tell me that the next head coach is probably coaching this weekend. So we have to wait until all that's done to find out who that guy is going to be, whether it's going to be Kubiak, whether it's going to be Davis Webb, whether it's going to be LaFleur, any of those guys. We have to wait, right? We have to wait until their thing is done. Then we can go ahead and make that official, right? We can't even bring these guys into the building until their playoff run is completely done. Then we can go ahead and bring them into the building to go ahead and do a final interview or make an offer or both, and to go ahead and really cinch that up. So, again, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of building blocks. Again, this off season is as advertised. It's really spicy right now. A lot of things happening, and it's funny. We just went through this last year, and having to go through this again. Really feels like, for me, it really feels like deja vu, bro. It really does, because we were talking about Aston Genty last year. We're talking about Pete Carroll. Oh, who's going to be? It was going to be Pete. And, we had to go through that awful season. Now we got the number one pick, looking for another head coach. Could it be Kubiak? Could it be Webb? Could it be LaFleur? Or could it be McDaniels? Who knows? And what are we going to do?
Am I the only one who thinks when I hear the name LaFleur, I think of is that movie Dodgeball? LaFleur.
Yes, LaFleur.
Every time I hear that name, that's all.
I mean, me too, bro. Me too. That's funny, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move into my final segment here is meet our guests. So again, we take the last few minutes of the show to go ahead and meet our guest. This week's guest obviously is Afakasi Raider. I know you were here on last time. I don't know if we got to do this, but I'd like to ask this question: who's on your Raiders Mount Rushmore? It could be players, it could be coaches. I didn't want to stick to just one. So
Okay.
who do you feel is on your Raiders Mount Rushmore?
Are you talking about as a whole, or just during my time?
Whole. So whoever you want to put up on that mountain.
Okay. All right. Al Davis, John Madden, Tim Brown, and we'll take the next one. God, there's so many great players. I just wish we had more great players of recent times, right?
Yeah.
God. Charles Woodson.
Charles Wood. There you go. That's a good list, man. That's really
in terms of my time. Well, it would be easy for me maybe post 2000s, because going back before that's a bit too far for me. But I guess defense would be easy. Khalil Mack, Charles Woodson, Max Crosby, and Nnamdi Asomugha. That's his 2000. Offense, that's a little harder, isn't it? Tim Brown, Rich Gannon, Josh Jacobs, God, and whoever you would think would be the best offensive lineman since 2000. Who do you think? Rodney Hudson?
Offensive. Yeah,
Stefan Wisniewski?
you could put
Well, not
you could
Stefan,
put
that's
Rodney
Steve
up there.
Wisniewski.
Yeah.
Who?
You can put Rodney up there.
Rodney?
Yeah.
Well, Lincoln Kennedy, I mean, he was still in the 2000s. Lincoln Kennedy or Steve Wisniewski, Rodney Hudson. Take your pick. That would be my, I guess, last guy on that.
Yeah. There you go. For sure.
It's kind of fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm like, I try to do a little bit different. But I like to pick because
Defense was a little easier for me since 2000, but offense, you kind of have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you could do one for just coaches. You could do one for offense, defense, or however you want to do it. But yeah, to me, I was just like, who's your core group? Who do you want to go ahead and put that up there? Let me kind of go ahead and because obviously it's been a while since you've been here, and we always get new people come in and watching the show. So let's go ahead and get to know you a little bit better. Again, let me start from the beginning. How long have you been a Raider fan, and what was that moment, or what was that thing that kind of made you fall in love with the silver and black?
So I became a fan of the team back in 2009. Most people in the chat know my story, but in case you don't, I'll try and shorten it so I won't bore everyone with repeating the same thing I've already told them about. But 2009 was the first year I became a Raider fan. The moment for me where I knew that was my team for life was watching the Monday Night Football opening first round kickoff game between the Raiders and the Chargers. That was a really great Charger. That was a great Charger team at the time. And we came out that night, we punched them in the mouth right from the rip. And I just remember seeing the rocker scenes of the Coliseum. And that was my moment when just watching the attitude that team was bringing at the time on defense, and just when they were panning around to the crowd and seeing the scenes of the Coliseum. That was my moment. I was like, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Raider, and I've been a Raider for life since then. And it's been a long, tough road, a lot of pain, a lot of misery, but I'm still here rocking the gear. I just spent 2 months in the US. I went to 3 Raider games, 2 in Vegas, 1 in LA, for literally the worst team in the league. Now you cannot passion if I'm a make that much dedication to come over there and see the literal worst team in the league. So, but I wouldn't change a thing. I would change a thing, but I wouldn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's always going to be
sure.
Silver and black to me. Win, lose, or tie, it's Raiders till I die.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And again, you're repping Raider Nation out, in Australia and Perth. So that you're out there really holding.
Jumbo Juice, respectfully, like I've been around since 2009, so I've been in the trenches. I felt the pain. You know what I'm saying? Of being one of, if not literally, the worst teams in the league. In my time, it's been 2 playoff games, and that's it.
Yeah,
we lost both of them. Every other year, we're either the worst or near the worst team in the league. That's all I've come to know. I mean, a lot of the older heads, like, at least you've got the early 2000s. At least you've got maybe some of the 90s where we weren't such a bad team. At least you have the 80s where we were, the team, that team, and the 70s. Like, what have I got? What have I had since I've been a fan?
Yeah, not much.
Derek Carr, yeah, I agree with that. But like, it's been few and far between the moments that have brought me joy as opposed to the moments that have brought me a lot of pain and misery. But that's what, like,
playoff appearances.
That's what's going to make the good times that much great when we do start winning. Because a lot of teams, especially where I'm from, they jump on these teams that it's easy to follow these successful teams, these teams that are doing great. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a real fan to watch a team grow and go through the mud, year in and year out. And I've been doing that since I've been a fan. And when the day comes where we are great again, it's just going to make it that much more.
Yeah, I think you probably had it probably the worst because you've only seen like the negative, the hopelessness, where it's just like dog shit year after dog shit year after dog shit year. I've been a fan since like early '90. It was like '91, and uh,
Right.
we it was just bad, bad, bad. But then you had the early 2000s where we finally started getting better, and we went to the Super Bowl. We lost in the Super Bowl. It was horrible, but
You always
we
say
had that, and then going down again, and then it was just a lot of the slippery slope. You had like, oh great, we're good now, and then like now we're dog shit again. Like what happened? So you've only
shit is
seen
right.
that, and I think it's just harder because it's just like all you've seen is just the negative. You never
Even
seen
the '90s, there was some moments. I've gone back and I've been to '90s football during the off season last year, and you had some good, decent teams and had some good results even then. A lot better than it had been from that period of 2004, 2005 to my time as a fan, when it's just been misery after misery, with small few moments, few seasons in between where it looked like we had some hope or it looked like we were doing some things, but just like everything else Raider related, just seems to turn out into mush. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let me ask you about as far as you as covering the Raiders, doing your content, what really got you into that, and uh what should everybody kind of be looking out for, but what really got you into that journey of really covering the Raiders, doing a show, being on YouTube?
Well, here in Australia, like I'm pretty much alone out here with being passionate about the Raiders, and like I really had nobody to like convene with or talk to, or like-minded people who feel the way I feel um, about Raider football. So that this was my kind of inlet to be able to do so. And I tried to cater to like I try to find Australian Raider fans. There's not that many, but there's a small group of them, and I found maybe one or two guys, maybe three, that like are still friends of mine to this day. But it's really the Americans that kind of embraced me and treated me as one of your own, and
Yeah,
that also translated to when I came to America. Like I didn't feel any moments of awkwardness. I didn't feel like I was an outsider. Like I was welcome with open arms, and that's something I will cherish forever. So
yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, you're definitely you're part of the nation, brother. I mean, you're holding it down all the way over there, literally solo, which is, I think it's awesome. And hopefully, this can inspire to have more people start watching the NFL over there, and hopefully start getting more Raider fans. But yeah, man, I know you were out here. Sorry that I missed you, that we couldn't link up. Hopefully, eventually, hopefully that happens and we can go ahead and link up. I know you were able to go ahead and link up with Leo and Dove. Shout out to Dove. You guys had a great a great segment you guys did together. So
yeah, I
uh,
appreciate that, Dub. I appreciate everybody that I came to meet along the way. I mean, Raider Loves in the chat feed. I got to meet her. And there's a few others that I got to meet along the way. Shout out to my LA guys and everybody that I met in Vegas. Like it was, there's not one bad experience I had when it came to meeting anybody uh, through on the Raider side of things during my time in the States. It's all been on the positive, and that's something that we can all, I guess, at least appreciate, is that the fan base. I mean, it's like even though the team's not doing too great on the field, like it's always going to be a good time with our community. So
Yeah, for sure. Let everybody know if you know what you have going on, they can find you, all that good stuff.
shout out to you, Paul. Look, I've just got back from the States, so I'm still trying to find my feet at home, but I will start getting active again soon. My channel's been a little dormant of late, like because I was focused on working as well as I was in the States for the last 2 months. And when I was there, I could have maybe brought my laptop and tried to focus on the content side of things, but I was too busy focusing on just living life. Sometimes you
Yes.
just got to put the phone down and just enjoy the moments, you know what I mean, that you will take to your grave. And that's what I did. So I didn't do any content while I was out there. I may have appeared on 1 or 2 lives, but now that I'm back, you can find me on my channel, Afakasi Raider. Yeah, I do YouTube. You got me on IG. I don't really post too much on IG more, so just use that to like communicate with my friends and brothers and sisters that I've come to know through YouTube or people that I met in the States. So yeah, that's what I got going on. So I appreciate you, Jay.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thank you for pulling up. So make sure you guys go ahead and give my guy Afakasi a subscribe. If you don't, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over. I have the link to his show pinned down below. Make sure you guys go ahead and head on over, hit that subscribe, hit that like to his
And
channel.
people on
for
my
sure.
side of the fence, please pay the favor for Jay. If you just type in YouTube, just Raiders Baby.
Yeah, just Raiders Baby, and I'll pop up.
Please,
Yeah, for sure. There you go.
Sure.
See?
And salute to
There you
everybody. I see you all. Brett, yeah, we'll be back on the Tecmo soon. That's always a lot of fun with my guy, Raider Critique. And it seems to get quite a bit of viewership. So we will be getting back to that when we get it.
Yeah, I popped in a couple of times. It's been pretty dope. For sure.
It's good fun. I mean,
Yes.
you know, it's a nice breakaway from the from the Raider football side of things. I mean, it's still Raider football in the game, but it provides something different. But salute to you, salute to everyone in the chat. King Alexander, Raider Paul, Brett, Lecky, Raider Love, Rosetown, Jumbo Juice, Raider Paul, I'm Not Bueno, Alfredo, my 2 cents. I can't scroll too far up because I don't want to take too much of Jay's time. I'm Not Bueno. I see you, King Alexander. So, yeah, I appreciate you all. Lecky,
appreciate everyone rocking with us on this Saturday morning. Again, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe on all the channels. And again, I have Afakasi's link pinned down in my description. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe. But other than that, that is our time for today. I'll be back soon with another Good Morning Raiders episode. We're getting that all figured out. I'll be back Monday with the Raiders Unfiltered. We'll go ahead and continue discussing the head coach search and any developing news that happens from now till then. Obviously, the AFC and NFC championship games are tomorrow. So we'll find out tomorrow who's going to Super Bowl. And
can I just address one comment? I'm Not Bueno's comment. I think Modelo flows through my beer lines. So I'm not much of a drinker, as a lot of you know. I mean, I drink now and then, but my first foray into Modelo when I was drinking at the tailgates, my God, that beer is amazing. It's my favorite beer, and it's not even close. I love that shit. Bro. So,
hold on.
Right. It's fantastic.
Especial or Negra? The Especial, the white label or the black label one? Because there's two.
Oh, I think it was more the white label. Like, I don't know, whatever you see. Like, if you see a lot of my photos, I'm holding a can of Modelo.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that one.
Like, yeah, there you go.
Oh, maybe not. Where's the other one?
The other one's all black. I don't have that one.
No, it's the white ones.
Yeah. So the black. So this is the thing. The black ones, for whatever reason, are stronger. If you know, you know. So if you ever get a chance, try the black one. It'll get you a little bit more litty. So it's a little slightly different taste, but
I don't like to get too litty. Like I like to be in control somewhat. And Modelo was a good mix of getting lit but not too lit. So Yeah, it's a great drink. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there you go. But Bueno knows probably what I'm talking
Frank.
about. But yeah, for sure. But again, appreciate you
Frank, it
guys.
is definitely better than Foster's. Foster's is monkey piss. I drank that one time when I was in the States. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I've had Foster's. It's an acquired taste. I'm gonna just say that.
It's disgusting.
It's an acquired.
Anyways,
taste.
Jay, sorry, man. You want to close?
Oh,
out
you're
the show?
good, brother. You're good, man. Hey, I could talk about beer all day. It's a little bit of a hidden passion of mine, but yeah. But appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that notification on all the shows coming up on both channels. I'll be back again on Monday. We'll go ahead and continue talking about the head coach search, and will we have to still continue wait longer for our next head coach, or will we hear something by Monday or next week? You never know. Things could happen.
To be seen, to be seen.
Make sure you guys go ahead and tap in, hit that notification, like I said. But I will see you guys next time. Again, as always, remember, just Raiders, baby. Till next time, y'all. Peace. Chris, protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My guy, Lunatic Raider, Raider Legions. What is good?
We on? Oh, hey!
We are. None other than Mr. Quiz, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Wayne Marbury, bring out none other than the notorious Rachel Rams.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Jeff, gifting 5 just Raider memberships to the masses. Appreciate you, my guy. All good that you showed up late, but better late than never. There you go. Appreciate you, my guy. Salute everyone. Have a good weekend. Till next time. Peace.